We should be going live. Let me refresh on another laptop. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, I think we are live. Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
seems
hello.
like it's working.
Let me know if you can hear us. I think you can, but just to make sure before we get started. Hi everyone. It's very sad to see you here, considering it's holiday season, and you have nothing better to do than watch the stream. But we are glad you're here. Hi guys, welcome to the last stream of the year. We have 3 more days left.
Someone is really
Before
loud. 1 second, that might be you.
Yeah. Well, I'm the only one speaking, so I can actually tune it down on the microphone as well if it's needed. I don't hear myself, so
Yeah, you're a bit louder than usual, I think.
yeah. So I will just tune it down on the microphone. Once again, we have a
Professional setup.
Yeah, we've been streaming for a year, and we still have issues with every episode of setting up the microphone or screen sharing. But yeah, I think it should be better now. So hi guys, welcome to the last stream of the year. As always, we're gonna jump into things. Before we do so, the stream is sponsored by Woo. As always, if you want to show some support, you can make a new account by clicking the first link in the description. If you make an account and open the first trade, you will get better maker and taker fees. You'll also get some of the benefits and discounts that are mentioned at the bottom of the screen. So with that being said, let's talk about BTC first, as we always do. So we if you're gonna take a look, this is the weekly chart. Basically, we are sitting within the 4th week of the range, so nothing insane really happened, I think, and it's kind of obvious if you're gonna look at the Twitter that people don't really pay attention to BTC in this time of the cycle. At least, it's been a meme coins, it's been player ones and all of that. So very quickly about the BTC. Not much has been going on. All the trades that I took on BTC were very kind of short-termish, and we are all kind of anticipating the ETF, which is coming in 12 days from now or 13 days from now. So yeah, weekly time frame, we are obviously super overextended. We had a inside week candle this week on the 11th of the December. We kind of tried to break above it. We're not able to. We were not able to do this on last week. Why this is kind of important is because there is a lot of algorithmic strategies. A lot of people running bots usually use a lot of simple systems. This is something that I learned years ago, that you have basically everyone or a lot of people that are running variety of different kind of algorithmic systems and stuff like that, that are at least one of the simple ones based on technical analysis and indicators and stuff like that. Usually when they see these kind of inside week candles or inside day candles, they usually see them as kind of a breakout patterns. You can see, for example, we had one here. This one kind of worked as a breakout. You can see we broke above the high of the week, made this kind of extension to the upside. But there are cases when this basically acts as a little bit of a trap. We can see here, for example, we have inside week candle here. Market breaks underneath that, but quickly bounces back and trades the kind of opposite side of the inside week. So something that I've been looking at, something that has been kind of happening here as well. We had inside week candle, try to break from it last week. We failed to do so. So next logical target from this kind of a point of view would be rotation to the inside week low, which is 40K. I think, obviously super big anticipation of the ETF. So either if it's sell the news or everyone is just whatever opinionated on that. We are, in my opinion at least, getting a little overextended on a perp side of things, the funding is obviously very high, which it's of course it's like a it's uptrend, things are going up, so it makes sense for funding to be high, but at the same time, price is not doing much, to be fair. Like obviously larger kind of picture, we are trending up, no shit, but if you kind of only take last 3 weeks into consideration, we are basically at the same price, but still we have these like large increases in the OI, funding spiking to the upside as well, like 0.045 points. We had a little bit yesterday as well, meaning that perps are trading kind of way above the spot price, yet market is more in this kind of sideways section right now, so this doesn't really scream to me like the healthiest kind of a conditions for any kind of continuation to the upside. If you're gonna take a look at spot kind of depth and how spot has been kind of skewed, obviously these are just limit orders resting, but they are decent indication for some of the market turns. You can see when inside this range, basically, you can see that when this is like aggregated book across different spot exchanges, all of the major ones, basically Binance, Coinbase, Bitstamp, OKX, I don't know, it's like all the spot exchanges basically that are relevant. You can see that if you're just gonna kind of box out this range, at the tops here we have the books highly skewed to the offers, we flush down, bits coming in, support the price. Basically it's kind of a back and forth, and basically it's kind of ping pong. I was in a little bit of short, which I closed on the 26th. Coming from here, I was really actually expecting this to go a little lower than it went. We pushed up yesterday, but once again, this book is kind of skewed more to the offer side, with fundings in general being super high. Expect expect the BNB launch pad scam going on at the moment. And and there is a TRB as well, which is like scam by itself. All of these other coins are heavily on the big positive funding side, BTC as well. So yeah, this doesn't necessarily scream kind of strength to me from like a order flow data. To kind of counter this point is that I feel like like the move to the upside yesterday was fairly decent. We are now kind of sold off into it. Picked up you can see these red candles today, at least like decent amount of selling coming in. I don't have extra charts here, but I would kind of bet there would be like high negative deltas coming in. Maybe if I'm going to take a look at the like perps CVDs. Yeah, it's nothing too crazy, to be fair. But yeah, some liquidations, some bounce here. I think like it doesn't look too weak on like a lower time frame price action point of view, but I don't know. I'm not feeling super confident in just like being long BTC at the moment, only because there is ETF coming or whatever. With that being said, yeah, if anything, if the funding would kind of cool down a little bit, if the book started to be skewed to the bit side, ideally before the ETF, it would be nice indication for me to go long. With how things are looking right now, I don't know. I'm not really interested in buying Bitcoin here. I think likelihood of like revisiting the lows is higher than just making new highs. Coming into the inevitable ETF release where whatever is going to happen, some like bigger vol event, or nothing is going to happen, or whatever. It's beyond the point, in my opinion, to speculate on that anyway. So I'm not really gonna go into that. So yeah, this is just my view on BTC. I think there has been way more exciting things to trade lately,
like Analos.
Yeah, like Bobcat and Bonk and all these things. So yeah, ETH is looking pretty interesting though. We had a huge move up on ETH, making a new highs on the year as well. Basically, kind of at the time of Death to ETH party where everyone was mentioning that every single layer one is now flipping ETH. ETH had a big rally in pair with optimism large move as well. Arbitrum large move as well. Even Matic I think moved decently. So and ETH BTC obviously is making new highs basically.
Man, if this is a local top, I'll kill myself.
Yeah, but like ETH BTC finally kind of making decent moves. ETH is looking decent as well, although I was kind of expecting today a little bit of a continuation. If you're gonna take a look at like difference between ETH and BTC books, yeah, you can see ETH has been kind of coming into this little bit of more positive outlook on the book depth. Nothing insane, to be fair. It's definitely difference here compared to these lows in like middle of December, and I think the order flow, like the perp data are going to look very similar on it as well. Yeah, like funding is once again super high, but we had this huge buy from perps yesterday, and I'm kind of using this as this kind of a proxy for trend continuation. Obviously we have this huge leg up. OI basically increased almost by a billion. So yeah, like 750 mil increase, which is a lot. Obviously, unfortunately, I actually did a little bit of a look into this every day basically this year when ETH increased. The OI on ETH increased by more than 10% on a day. It was always a local top, or at least kind of like a sideways.
Hey, I know where you live.
Yeah, so and I don't know, it still looks good. Obviously, if you're gonna take a look at like the exact point where this OI is coming from, is like from this leg up right here. Basically the next leg up was done on much kind of a smaller buying, and you can also see that kind of a funding dipped on this one, so this more feels like a spot led buying. But obviously it's a little concerning that there is like no follow through on this at all today. Basically I looked at it at 9 a.m. this morning. We are at the same price 10 hours later. So very simple thing that I am looking at is obviously this kind of a, and this is basically a SR level. We have a kind of a resistance, then possible turning to support. More importantly for me though is that this is that leg where all these buyers came in. If we are trading above it, it's all good. These people are in the money. But if we start to kind of crawl back, then these people, I imagine they start to sweat. They start to kind of close the positions. We would see more likely more of this kind of a flush in the OI. So ideally for ETH, what I would like to see is a little bit of a dip, getting quickly bought back up, and continuation higher if this is really bullish. So kind of ETH is looking definitely better, ETH BTC higher, but I'm a little concerned by the fact that we didn't have any sort of follow through after a decent amount of buying yesterday, and the kind of a deeper this dips, and there is like this no strength from these buyers stepping in, and kind of the likelihood of this is going to reverse is getting higher and higher basically. So yeah, I would say that these are pretty much my views on the BTC and ETH. Yeah, ETH higher time frame chart, there is this kind of a pattern. I tend to trade a lot when we have these kind of a largely bodied candles on higher time frames, especially when you have like the SFP kind of situation where obviously everyone is trying to short this because like we made this kind of initial failure at the highs. What I like to look at is like taking out the low of the candle, but then starting to showing that kind of strength again, and going long into basically all the people that just try to short the most obvious resistance. But at the moment this is just kind of a dead-ish thing. It's Friday today, right? Yeah, it's Friday.
No, it's Thursday. No,
it's
Thursday.
Oh, it's okay. It's Thursday. So tomorrow is Friday. It's it's New Year's at the weekend. So I to be fair, I don't know if I will be if I will trade this. I held my trade over the Christmas. I kind of checked it on the phone. I feel like I'm just gonna keep it as it is until the New Year's. But yeah, it's pretty clean on ETH. What I would love to see, and like I said, dip, quick reclaim showing me that these buyers are still kind of interested in higher prices would be a really nice long continuation. If this just kind of starts to slip down, no signs of buying, then most likely this was just a top, and all this OI is going to eventually flush. Sending this, I would love to see it kind of here, which was which was also my kind of a first original area where I was looking for ETH shorts, which I didn't get, but this kind of a something that I learned from RunnerXBT, drawing SR levels on OI.
That's the only thing we do. We only draw lines on charts instead of trading. Apparently.
Yeah. So yeah, my views on ETH BTC. Like I said, I think, and we kind of all can agree that ETH is a little stronger at the moment. And yeah.
I have a counter. I wanted to have you finish your segment about Bitcoin and ETH. One thing that's interesting, since you're in Velo, by the way, I just made a new tutorial on Velo. Check it out. If you could please click, in TradFi, if you go to the left side, to the menu, and you click on TradFi, and do maybe like last, 3 months or whatever. If
on
in,
what?
In above, if you go in the,
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I think it's relevant, and let's pretend we're options experts for a minute. Tomorrow is the biggest option expiration this year. Tomorrow morning. So basically, I think that might be one of the reasons why the funding is so retarded right now. Dude, it's 0.06 every 8 hours on Bitcoin. You can be making fuck ton of money shorting BTC. And I do just believe, maybe it's just my 10 IQ brain being counter-indicator as always, but I think tomorrow it will calm down. The whole spreads and the basis will go back to normal after tomorrow 9 a.m. for us. So maybe again, might be total bullshit. Even if you go to options section, tomorrow is, I don't know. Maybe what I'm trying to say, I think we will see some volatility early in the morning.
I remember last time we talked about there was a huge options expiration and literally nothing happened.
But we'll just see open interest, and that's all. Of course, I don't expect 5% moves. I just think the order flow will start looking less cancer.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was trying to say.
Yeah, but to be fair, ETF is pretty close at this point. So it's I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just waiting, and the chance of big kind of volatility event either way, if it's sell the news or not, it's still kind of high. So there's I believe that there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market at the moment overall. So
and as you said, nobody gives a shit about Bitcoin or kind of about ETH, because you have the main characters tweeting about ETH now. By that I mean Abetrade, of course. But it's at least the side of the CT, right? Which we, I guess, sadly represent.
Yeah, we had
attention economy, all attention.
Yeah, it's obviously because even basically we had this a cycle uptrend, and the best performance once again were the layer ones, which is nothing really new. Like Solana, Injective, Avax, and some others as well. Near did a lot as well. So people already started dunking on ETH, which obviously kind of underperformed a lot of these other layer ones. But it's just the focus is really on that at the moment, and Solana and all these very strong performance. Finally seeing some sell-offs coming.
Man, I'm very confident next stream we'll revisit these. We made a local bottom again on these. I wanted to ask you one thing, because I just blocked somebody on Twitter. Basically, this layer one trade, right? You have many of them. So Solana was first, arguably, and then you had a lot of these catch-up, Jesus, not catch-up. Basically other layer ones pumping, even Polkadot, Avalanche. My point is, what is your take on all these people picking one side, thinking you have to be religious because Hasaka tweeted about whatever, pick your favorite influencer, and then they are their influencer already moved on, he's already in other coins, and this person is still religious, this is still you missed out on Solana, idiot, do you have any word of advice of somebody who just becomes like Jehovah's Witness level dedicated to a community and is willing to die on the ship just because like they make one coin all about their identity? It's just, I know, it's so sad to see.
It's mostly Solana and Avalanche. I feel like, to be fair, like they have like the most kind of insane people. Obviously, we had this like a meme coin season on top of everything, which kind of spread through. Even like a lot of my friends were trading fucking everything on Radium, which was available, and trading all these coins. So yeah, like this really creates a large kind of cult mentality. Like Solana is up like
10x.
Since basically year to date. It's like 10x basically. So yeah, I'm it's easy to kind of became member of the cult, but yeah, I don't know, it's always like just a trade for me. This is probably why I don't really hit any of these huge rallies, because I have such a kind of low belief in a lot of these things, and that's kind of on me. But yeah, it's I to be fair haven't really longed many of these things. I actually shorted some of these things pretty well. But yeah, it's just it is what it is. It's always the same, like people are just people. So
Yeah, I guess I would just say like like everything is kind of a trade, because I'm trying, like I've seen, as you said, like we two mid-curves, right? But it's just like, especially when I know people made life-changing money, some of them, and like the guy on Bonk, marking, if you can pull up the chart. So like, it's so easy to fall into this, like I don't know how to even say it, because like you just become like paralyzed to a point like, Jesus fuck.
It's
that like
it's like a 65%.
I mean, it's still life-changing money, right? Few mil, but I think like I wouldn't know, right? But I'm just, and even talking to smart, like what do you think hurts more? Like you make 3 mil, knowing it was like 12 at a point. It's like, how do you kind of cope? It's just, and we've seen it over and over again, right? I would compare the Solana season. This is nothing new, by the way. We had Binance Smart. Were you around trading BSC shitcoins? I remember buying anything that Algot. Back then, Algot was a cool. Basically, Algot was like, the guy on CT.
You mean the guy who is the
FTX?
Bahamian citizen and claims he's a big algo trader? Well, he made all his money shilling BSC scams.
Yes. No, allegedly. No, this is not to turn it into shitting on him. I'm just like,
he blocked me, so I can say that he's not likely to watch
this. But it's like we had this before, right? This is like, in a lot of ways, these things really repeat. It's kind of silly, and we kind of think there's no way it's gonna happen again. Like people, I know a lot of people who were longing Doge, and then you had Bonk pull like a bazillion X. And they're like, no, but Doge will have its time. It's kind of like, shoop, brother, you have to kind of move on, And I'm pretty sure people like, even if like we can talk about maybe shit like, or sorry, not shit, projects like Unibot. I don't know if you've seen the chart. It's just depressing.
Yeah.
And remember a few months ago, that was basically Unibot is the shit. What I'm trying to say with this rant, make your money, take profit, move on to the next shiny shit.
It's like I saw the guy with Bong, like he started to obviously everyone's favorite website where you like compare the market caps of two coins, and that's like your whole life thesis is that like if this is going to reach the same market cap as Doge or SHIB or whatever is going to go another 100x. It's always the same thing basically. Like people never take profits. He's still I don't know. I haven't looked at the tweet much. I think he put like 16k in. He's probably up now around still few mil. If he's just going to manage to close it, it's still amazing trade. There is still chance like this is gonna go higher. It's like was this like complete top? Most likely yes, maybe not. Maybe this has some more upside to go still. Like the PNL swings obviously are insane on this.
And it fucks with people, right? Like and I guess what I try to say is, or like I don't know if us two should be giving the advice, but like don't marry the bag, because the greed really fucks with you. And like I've had it before. I had a round trip when I turned like like basically 3 digits into like 250K, and I'm still holding. It's worth like 15K, and so I can be like, whoa, great trade, good job. But like, no, I know I'm a fucking idiot. Don't be the fucking idiot. That's all I'm saying. I'm staking the coin now. I'm like one of the biggest LPs. Like
saying GM in the community telegrams every morning.
I got so tilted. The project blocked me. No, the point is like, I hope somebody like, I don't know. I hope it makes any sense. And of course, somebody will now be, you two faggots are just coping because you didn't long Solana a bazillion X. Yeah, we didn't. Like, but you don't want to be holding. Yeah, I guess whatever.
Yeah, it's like with a lot of these meme coins, I saw someone like pointing this out on Twitter. Like when the meme coins try to become more than they actually are, it's always kind of the top. I saw some like Bonk AI, Bonk chain, whatever. The trade that we kind of took was the ship announcement. Like when these things really try to be more than they actually are, it's always kind of the end. Like with ship trying to become the own chain. The Doge has also a chain at this point, or not maybe. So yeah, it's funny. And it's obviously was like a 10 days of just like complete memes, not only this but also the anal OS.
But also on different chains, right? Wasn't there like Avalanche shitcoin cock or something like that?
Yeah.
Your favorite?
Yeah,
nice,
it was.
Nice
yeah, probably. It has like a way more history, obviously, but yeah, it's.
The point stands.
It's
like
just,
it's all. That's why the show. If you could you please read the name for me? Like literally musical chairs. The unplugged, but like it's all bullshit. So just it's fuck, man.
I bought like throughout the whole meme coin season. I bought one coin on Solana. I've done like 2.5x and then interact within like an hour, and I lost everything. And that was all my kind of. I just wanted to feel something and felt something within like 2 hours.
Just
was done
like
with it.
next time, you have my address, brother. Just I'll.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like it's at the same time like you cannot really put that much money into this. I put like not much, just like few sol, so it's like not a big deal, obviously. Like people really play this as like a jackpot kind of situation.
Right,
and
now
then
we have Adam flexing that he's rich. Just a few sol.
But like at the like you understand that like you cannot really put much money into these things in the first place. Obviously, like your goal is to kind of catch these when they have like 15K liquidity or whatever. So it is what it is. It's really not my thing. I never really done it. Never really done good with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's why we do order flow on mid caps. It's just
but I just like don't really feel like spend most of my days just like throwing shit on the wall and hoping something is going to stick, which I think is like pretty accurate, description of trading, on chain meme tokens basically. So yeah. So with that being said, obviously layer ones did pretty well. They pulling down a little bit. They are still up a lot. I think I still would love to see some sort of bounces. I have this yearly. This is like a 30-day VWAP, basically a rolling VWAP on Solana, for example. Without drawing that much levels, I think like $80 would be very nice a bounce. I don't think this is like gonna go just straight down or whatever. But if I just feel like if the ETF is really kind of this sell the new situation and we would have like a larger correction, you shouldn't really like go into this mindset that Couple was right, 12K is next type of situation. Like these things, obviously Solana went from $20 to 100. AVAX went from kind of $9 to 50. And if you're gonna take a look at the weekly chart of like there is like it gained a lot of like big higher time frame levels. If you're gonna take a look, I hope you can see this on a fucking my dark S chart here, but like we have like this huge volume distribution right here on AVAX. We have a huge volume distribution here on Solana. Basically this was like 2 years, almost like a year and a half of sideways. But I'm pretty sure already that if AVAX will ever be trading, back to like between $20 and $30, the whole sentiment is once again going to be, it's super over. We had a mini run and it's going to zero. I think like based on how big these moves were, not really on ETH, it still looks like shit, but like even on even on BTC, like I think, yeah, like if BTC ever next year, Q1, Q2, whatever is going to like hit 30K, I'm pretty sure people will be like, it's so over, we are just done. But I really feel like it would be just like a higher time frame, higher, lower high type of situation,
just buy.
basically. So,
literally buy.
Yeah,
We get
yeah,
28
yeah,
buy and get a real life job.
Forget about the crypto ever existed. Just buy and leave and never come back. Yeah, I just personally really feel like that, like the moves we had in the last 2.5 months were kind of significant enough that this wasn't just kind of a
Eco bubble.
it basically. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to like next year. I think that we should have correction. Obviously, it's been overextended as shit at this point. Like bunch of things did 5x, 10x, or whatever. But yeah, from like a higher time frame point of view, I think that we will eventually kind of just bounce and possibly go higher. And it's and not something that I do super often, but even like looking at like a really weekly, monthly charts and just like buying some spots or like giving things a room and when the time is right, obviously it's not the worst idea in my opinion.
So like, do you think it makes, just even from like, I know you just tweeted this, like kind of memeing this whole idea, but so ETF is whatever, like 10 days away. So like, even though today is like a working day, you can tell even from like, liquidity and volumes, like, and like most of the companies are on holidays, still like nobody kind of gives a shit until January 3rd. Realistically, so we are like very few working days away from ETF. Bitcoin spot ETF, most likely approval. Like if it's rejected, I don't even think we need to talk about what happens then. It's probably very unlikely. But what do you think? Since I'm here trying to shield my bags.
It's obviously like all the events, and like this is not only crypto thing. This is basically all the markets is usually this kind of a buy a rumor, sell the news type of situation. Like even in TradFi when I traded something which had this kind of like known event, basically it's very, very often sell the news. But it's also like a overall sentiment at this point on crypto. I think I read like 5 threads a day on why this is the sell news and why this and that is going to happen. Which makes it kind of tricky. And I personally just like, I don't know, if I tend to kind of just stay away from such a highly anticipated event very often because like I don't really day trade anymore. So I'm not really interested in scalping it. Obviously, like we will have this probably approval if it's priced in. What's going to happen? Like basically, I don't know, and I feel like my edge when it comes to trading is working with kind of data that I can actually kind of see and like make decisions based on that. But with the news, it's not very often the case, basically. So we had a lot of these situations. I think I mentioned this previously. Like ETH had this big update in April. That was kind of the sell the news event. So basically this rally right here. If I'm just gonna add the open interest in the chart, this was the build up coming into it. This is basically when this was like the Shanghai upgrade or whatever the name was. We came to it, so much buying. Everyone was super hyper bullish. Market started to stall, sold off. Right now everything is kind of overextended. I don't really see. Probably the OI on this thing is not the best one. I don't really see this kind of insane build up. For example, let's say that ETF is on 10th. which is somewhere here. Let's say that from like 7th to 10th, like 3 days prior the approval, you will start to have a huge rally. You will start to have a huge increase in open interest. You will be very clearly able to tell that everyone is fucking just buying this thing as much as they can. Then the likelihood of this being the sell the news event is kind of likely. Basically the same thing. I'm not really trying to come up with like something special here, but pretty much the same situation which was with the the ETH news back in April. Because when you have a situation like this, I can I can look at some kind of piece of order flow data or whatever and be like, okay, like everyone really went insane into this news dropped, nothing is going on, we are going sideways, this is very likely to be a fade basically. Like at the moment we don't have anything like that with BTC. I don't see anything besides those few things that I mentioned, but it's still 12 days from now, so a lot of things can change. So yeah, I'm not really going to try to kind of farm the engagement on this because I genuinely just don't know.
And do you think, because I think what is interesting, like I think it's been now like 10 weeks when basically with few exceptions market is basically up only, right? You literally get no entry, no structure whatsoever. So you have people, and even the funding, right, we discussed, like, so people get like very conditioned to the idea like you get away with buying any dip on anything, like you can literally just ape and make money. Do you think like if there is whatever, sell the news, probably not in one day, but like just imagine idea of like 3 red weekly candles in a row? That's like it would. Do you think people would I do what I've noticed a lot, even same with like beginning of the year, right? We were like used to 18 months of down only, and people were, me included, like fading or just staying the fuck away on some of these moves. And like, do you think people will become, like this will be this like short term new paradigm, if you will, and then you have like a, even like, I think even like a red weekly candle would be pretty wild for a lot of people. Do you think this could be potentially a big fuck you catalyst? Not catalyst, but like shake out a lot of people?
Yeah, it kind of depends. I feel like there is like a decent example on this, something that I was actually watching on AVAX, comparing ETF release to layer 1 shitcoin, which barely anyone is using, is probably a awesome idea. But like if you're gonna take a look at the OI here on AVAX, and I think this was like somewhere basically in like this section, you can see that like we had this like obviously like huge leg up when a lot of people try to kind of fade this or whatever, and you can also see that like open interest is down quite a bit. Like we had basically 50%, almost 50% flush on the OI on in this very small like okay, this is still 20% pullback, but like relative to the whole move is kind of a not much. So like this is this kind of a signal that everyone is just like closing their positions and price is not really giving a caring about as much. Like it can be the case for BTC, to be fair. Like we will have this like a big weekly candle, OI will like drop but not that much, and it can kind of be it while people start to like really thinking like we are going back to 30k, we are going back to whatever prices. Meanwhile, you will just have like a weekly candle down, OI will like dip like 15% to like these levels, which is going to still be like significantly higher than the 35k basically price point, and like we might make like a new leg up from there basically.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, you tweeted exactly that. Like nobody fucking knows, right? We just kind of make predictions.
Yeah. This is just like, once again, like it's kind of cool to talk about it, but at the end of the day,
nobody knows.
You don't really know. But this is like, even like here it kind of happened, like we had this huge flush, like everyone got super liquidated on this one candle, and you can see like the OI basically dropped, 12% of this is like a small range, and like it basically OI dropped to like the same area as it was here. So it was still like basically there's like a difference between, this is like only 6%. So it's nothing too insane, but like when you really spot this kind of difference between open interest and price, meaning that like all these positions has been kind of flushed down, but there is still someone sitting on the opposite side, making sure that basically like they are getting absorbed and they are supporting the price type of situation.
Yeah, it'll be. Both of us are away from our desks on days.
Yeah. I
ETF
have like a 16-hour flight on January 10th, so.
I will be most likely skiing. So no, most likely I'll be skiing with
Nice.
Pierre, getting drunk somewhere. So enjoy ETF approval, boys.
Yeah.
Like, what would you do?
So-
Maybe we can talk about some shitcoins, but I'm curious. Like, I wish we could do like interactive polls, but would be like. So, are you currently flat? Is that what like? Is there anything you're like? Are you trying to catch a cheeky short on Bitcoin while on a flight? Or?
I honestly at the moment am flat. One of the reasons is obviously I will most likely going to be drunk during the whole weekend, so I don't really want to pay attention much to the markets. But yeah, like besides BTC and ETH, I don't really want to trade alts at the moment. Want to have like the pretty chill start of the year. Which is kind of funny because like obviously last year there was absolutely no chill. If you remember, I think you definitely remember where the last year kind of opened, which was right here, and it's like up only situation. Yes, like last year open, and basically by the January 13 we were up 10-20%. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just want to give it like a slower, like a calmer start of the week. The first week of trading, most likely just gonna take some trades, but then as I will be kind of traveling, I really plan to take it more easy in January in general.
Also, if somebody has any tickers, feel free. Like in terms of narratives, I think it's getting a bit boring and repetitive. I know, but layer one.
The BNB was actually like super nice trade, to be fair. Even though it has this launchpad scam baked into it, this is not something that I took. But like when CZ left, basically, like this really screamed like it's going to zero, and I believe that we were also a little bit skeptical about BNB at the time. But yeah, as this started to gain momentum, and it's one of basically only bigger altcoin with negative funding, which is obviously not because there is like a huge amount of directional spot buying, but people just hedge the launch pads. It's very strong trade.
And it shows you strength of the market, right? Because that's what it kind of used to be, right? Like months and months ago, whenever they did the launch pad, launch pool, whatever you want to call it, you would have like ridiculous pumps, which would often full retrace. That's not what I'm like trying to be bearish, but then we had several months when it didn't do shit, right? Or we would have like So I think it's kind of good representation of a
definitely. It shows you this kind of a risk appetite because this really like for BNB. I remember this like last year. This constantly had like increase of the OI, funding went negative based on, due to launch pads or whatever, the first few were nice, kind of a short-term upsides, but then they just, completely retrace. You can see, for example, here, like this one, you can even barely see it, it did 10% up, followed by, 20% down, but now they just announced Launchpad, the appetite for risk is kind of there, it's up 50% in like, what? Week or 8 days basically. So
but also what is interesting, Chef Adam, that like also cake, I know it sounds horrible, but can you check cake chart?
Is it here even?
Yeah, like Velo now has all the Binance
nice
perps. Like,
I'm gonna go do it here.
Like obviously we don't have to look at the monthly chart, but it's like actually ridiculous. But there's some like, oh my god, I will get so much hate for this, but there's been like governance proposal.
Nice.
But look, I mean, number go up, right? So I think it like narratively goes hand in hand. Basically, I think they can mutually benefit each other. And obviously, Bake. Did you see Bake?
Jesus.
Oh wow, well, but still, like that's a crazy move, right?
Yeah,
that's like a 10x almost.
They're like five-ish, maybe 10 from like lows basically. Last month is like 10x.
You know, like if people are like getting used to seeing altcoins doing 10x in a month and being like, well, no surprise, right? Like, duh. Like if you said that even 6 months ago, people would be like, 10x? What?
Yeah, these are like very hard to catch. You know, like I always see these on Twitter when something does 10x, when something goes in like a huge, insane move. But like realistically, you know, you really need to have this kind of a let's like fundamental belief way ahead into the news, because you know, like you are not likely. You know, like if you're gonna buy here, you still do like 2x, maybe 3x on that, but like not many people actually like jump into something that is already up, you know, 250% and be like, okay, this is gonna go, you know, another few x in like few days, basically type of situation.
I believe it's like a launchpad
Yeah.
or BRC, like something like with. I'm getting too slow, but basically a launchpad for these new shitcoins. So and it would also, like back in the day, I believe, I remember 2021, you would have often bake and cake move together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jesus. Someone is asking about Mina. This is the
ZK layer one.
yeah. This is also up a lot.
Christ.
Yeah.
Remember when we had a massive position in October?
Yeah. I didn't, but I remember you were longing this somewhere in here. Then kind of gave up somewhere in here. And then it's up 2x from there. Yeah, it's interesting with these things. And this is something that I don't really, I'm not exactly sure how to kind of interpret. Is like, yeah, oh, okay, when on the aggregated it's a little cleaner. Yeah, like you have this like insane, this is actually open interest like here, you know, like you have this insane kind of OI build up, you know, just like does whatever, like 2x in one candle almost. And then it's just like, the OI is going to completely bleed, but you know, someone is like, even if you're gonna take a look at funding, you know, it's getting a little silly now, but like people just exit all this kind of leverage positions. Someone is basically in the spot market, just kind of absorbing it very, very slowly, and then it's going to do the next leg up. These are very hard trades in my opinion, because like looks kind of easy, you know, like you could have just buy whatever, but like this took 2 months, you know, this is like a 2-month period of nothing basically. So once again, you know,
it's easy for Twitter, right? It's the classic
yeah, like it's the classic, like, you know, someone just posting a chart on Twitter like this is a super easy trade, but like realistically, once again, you need to have this, I believe, like fundamental, once again, more of a reasoning for this, and being prepared to, you know, like there is basically like not this tool. There is basically like 30% hole underneath you, very thin movement when it could like go pull back any day basically. So yeah, not an easy trade to take. I just personally like don't like to trade these things so much. I still like to keep it, you know, within that like top 50-ish at least coins, where I know that like they are not going to do 3x while I'm in bed overnight situation.
I think it's layer one, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm completely idiot, but like I think it was like a catch-up trade to all the other layer ones that didn't move.
Yeah,
and
but,
also with Matic being relatively strong.
But for this, I don't know, like if we ever manage to, like, you know, on a weekly chart, once again, I feel like a lot of these, you know, like TA meme situation, but is it like there is more history? Probably, yeah. Okay, oh, never mind. This is altcoin. But yeah, if, you know, like with these coins, it's very often kind of a very primitive TA, simple stuff, because like, you know, there's like not that much to do. So like 90 cents, if you're gonna get pulled back into that on a weekly chart, might be a good level if you are bullish on the ZK roll-ups or whatever this is. You know, I would look to, you know, high volume node here as well. This rolling yearly VWAP would most likely be somewhere in here, so you have like a triple kind of setup here. Only thing that I would really look at this. on that.
So I guess summary is doing nothing until ETF. Runner is betting his entire family net worth on ETH-BTC. Fuck. And red candle, it's over.
Yeah, I think ETH-BTC is looking good. I know that you might have a position which will result in you not sleeping for next 2 weeks. But yeah, I think this is looking pretty solid.
Also, I have an entry that if I learn, and it's one of those entries. If you if you get a retest, you're fucked. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Help.
Someone asked about Atom. This is not the strongest thing to look at, to be fair.
Like relative to other layer ones. I know it sounds ridiculous. It's up 3x in like 2 months, but 2x. But you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy that we're saying something that only did a 2x is like the weaker one.
Yeah.
But no, Atom obviously layer 1. I know there's this like current like ongoing discussion within Atom or like Cosmos community to do like a fork. So there's some fuckery. And I don't know, to me Atom, it's like remembered as like the cursed coin. There was always the kind of discussion like if Cosmos pumps, it's over. And I mean, same for like Polkadot. Like to me they're kind of cursed chains. Like then you have like Injective that does 40x in a year. It's just like, do we actually care about the tech or
like do people actually use Injective? Like the chain?
Let me put it this way: there isn't that much activity on chain. Let's put it. But like, does it matter?
Yeah, but like, what's the reason then? Like, I never looked into these things. Like, I never like cared if like if something like the kind of the price is always the best narrative type of situation. Like if shit just goes up, people buy it, it's whatever. But like, Injective is up, insanely. Like it's like up 40x basically since, or like it's up a lot. Whatever it is, it was a year ago. It was at $1. Now it's at fucking 35.
And it's like down 20% already.
Yeah, and and I have like no idea how to even like bridge that or like any single thing you can like, like what's the.
I know a bridge. I might be working for a company that has a bridge there.
Oh, nice. So, but like, I was just like thinking about this other day. Like, do people actually use like Injective? Like, because like with Sol, for example, like I understand this. Like Sol, like people, give it a lot of shit or whatever, but still, it's meme coins. But like people at least like use it. Like same kind of with AVAX as well. I know AVAX has this like decent ecosystem with Trader Joe or it's been around, but like I know like zero things about Injective. That's maybe why I'm not up 40x on spot Injective.
That's why we're streaming on Sunday.
It is. Someone asking about Matic
maybe can I just very quickly before you rolled the chart, but saying go long ARP OP Lido instead of long ETH-BTC. Yes and no, because I do like why I'm long ETH-BTC like fucking retarded size is, look, if Adam and me are right with the sell the news shit, most of these you mentioned are gonna pull back like very aggressively, right? And I don't know, maybe I'm just, like they can literally go minus 50% and still have bullish structures, right? In my head, I hedge this with ETH-BTC, which like will not go that much lower, in percentage terms. Might be stupid excuse, but that's literally why I'm doing this. So by longing ETH-BTC at 0.0505, I kind of don't give a shit if this coin goes up or down in USD terms. If my thesis is that attention shifts from Bitcoin spot ETF to Ethereum spot ETF after. That's the trade. I might be wrong, but that's why I don't want to take the direct. But I do see it kind of as like me being I know it's not delta neutral, but I don't have the directional exposure.
I hate Lido. It's cursed coin. It's hentai Avenger coin. I hate to trade it. It just trades like shit. But yeah, you're right with like OP. I remember I was actually long this on kind of few occasions or during this leg up, and like, like look at this shit. Like, I was long actually here. I had like very nice entry, and then within like few minutes I was down like 8%. And same like this week. Like, and if the ETF is really sell the news, then this is going to pull back much more. With that being said, the OP was really. This is like really trades like how I love to trade. I had some nice trades on optimism. This kind of, instead of like going super dump, kind of one directional trades, you have this large build up in buying. You kind of establish this support. We kind of squeeze under that. Like this is like my favorite types of trades basically. Like this trade on OP was very nice, and it basically, before this leg up, we had very much the similar kind of thing with like high relative volumes coming to the lows, then it gets bought back, kind of like way more structured situation than fucking Solana going one direction basically. So
like this person asked, like OPR, like I think one narrative I'd like to mention, because we used to talk about narratives, not just saying, oh, this is up too much, overextended, sell the news, but there's this EIP Donkun thingy happening.
Yeah, it got postponed. It was supposed to be up like
months ago.
In this, yeah.
So yeah, there is like, I think there's a lot of confluence for the layer 2 trade, which obviously you have all the big accounts shilling it on Twitter. That's always a good start. Them being top gainers also a good start, but also they have like actual narrative for it coming in. But to a point, like when you have like 10 times cheaper gas fees, like, it's one of those, how much TVL there is, like who gives a shit, right? Number go up.
Yeah. I think like Arbitrum got shelled a lot on CT, but then it got kind of completely overshadowed by Solana, it feels like. Yeah, I don't know, but they are like still decent ETH beta plays, but at the same time, like it's not. I don't know. I'm kind of with you on that fact that like if BTC is going to be sell the news, it is likely pull back 20%. This shit is going to go down like 60. Yeah. So.
And it's like maybe of a classic coping situation of us too, but it's just, look, somebody else was saying my risk is a wick. Look, if we get a wick back to my entry, I'm adding. I'm legitimately, like, not financial advice, I'm going to die on this hill.
Yeah, I think BTC, like, even if it's going to pull back to like 0.53, it's still decent kind of long here,
especially
as long as
if it's on like ETF approval day, basically. Yeah. Like if we have a basically Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved, news traders and fucking pump it to 48. If BTC does a -4%, -5% daily candle that day, or even more, I'm buying. Somebody said, stop trading and believe in something. Yes, I believe in Vitalik's big dick energy. And I'm like, look, it's either going to work and I'm going to be flexing PNL cards like a cringe lord, or you can find me at the nearest bridge.
You're going to just bridge in real life, basically.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. I just feel like with the ETF, kind of the last thing you just want to do is like be leveraged long like 20 altcoins hoping for the best. That's like, like we can all kind of argue if BTC is long or short here or whatever, but like last thing you really want to do is just like balls deep, and it doesn't have to be like only long, like short is basically the same outcome. Like just like don't do any stupid shit basically type of situation, especially if you're trading alts. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the whole ETF being finally over, and we can just like look at maybe some narratives and stuff like that, because it's considering how many things were happening like in summer and even start of the September, October, like now it's been really just this one thing, and yeah, I'm just hoping things will start to get.
It gets repetitive, right? Like you have Balkunas on notification. Oh, Seifert tweeted something, and he's like, went for a run. Who in the fucking normal mind would be posting about running? I don't know. Fucking cringe lord.
Yeah. Okay. So
somebody asking good question, and we can wrap it up with it because 1 hour. But assuming sell the news 20% correction, what will you buy? ETH betas. I'll buy more ETH BTC.
only
But-
like the next year we will basically stream every week, and Runner will just like cry for help for an hour, talking about his ETH BTC long. This is the musical chairs from now. Just Runner talking about ETH BTC.
No, there's no chairs. There's one chair. The chair is ETH BTC.
Nice.
And you know what's
Okay,
gonna
yeah,
happen
like-
is gonna pump 15%. I'm gonna close and make a victory lap, and then I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
it do another 30% move.
Yeah, if there is a 20% flush, I don't know. To be fair, like it's just like people just love this shit so much. Like talk about these hypothetical scenarios months from now and what will happen if this and that. But like at the end of the day, it's just like mentally exhausting. Like I'm not really going to like sit here and be like, okay, if BTC is going to dip 25%, what exactly I'm going to do? Like I have like like why would you bother? Like you see these kind of like we had a huge flash in August basically when like half of OI died within one day. Like when you see this, like this is your situation. Like okay, I'm gonna get long exposure here, like but like until it's not going to happen, like why would I bother? Like if Bitcoin is going to this and the OI is going to equally do that, and we are at like a decent level that I'm like okay, yeah, like this is looking good, I'm just going to buy. But like playing all these kind of hypothetical scenarios only for sake of like having something to talk about and stuff, like not
No,
really
it's a
what I
classic
do.
with two mate curves doing nothing, coping, missed Solana, did get fucked on a loss, and
I think
on a loss.
ETBTC target to 0.65 is pretty, yeah, 62, 60. Yeah, it's like somewhere in this area, which you cannot see because all my drawings are just emo dark.
Well, if you're getting there, I'm going on a long vacation with your uncle.
Yeah, like between 0.61 to 0.65 looks like a decent target. Even, and I really feel like with how much shit was talked about this, it's not unlikely to happen.
Like honestly, my wet dream is this going to 0.04. Like
what? That's like here.
Yeah, I'll buy more.
Okay, it's time to end the stream. Runner is once again losing it. I hope you guys had a great trading year. We will be back on the next one. We will both are going to be traveling a little bit in January, so the schedule is going to be even worse than it was until now.
Worse than our trading?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that we will be able to make it at least once a week as we usually do. So yeah, wish all of you a happy new year. If you want to support the stream, and we would like to thank Wu for sponsoring the stream, you can use the link in the description. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you in 2024.
Easy on the leverage. Have a good year. Bye bye.